everyone, welcome back to Function Pilates. I'm Vanessa Kelly, founder of Function Pilates, located here in Arizona, and today I'm back with another reformer workout in our Chandler, Arizona location for beginners, for intermediates. We'll make some modifications with those spring settings, but if you are new to the channel, welcome. I have over 90 workouts here. It's organized all in the playlist section by different apparatuses, so feel free to scroll back and find different types of workouts that you are looking for that day. If you are new to Pilates or you want to enhance your Pilates knowledge or become a Pilates instructor and begin your career in the business of Pilates, Function Pilates has its own virtual teacher training program based on the Mat and Reformer certification. So the link is below if you are interested in learning more on how to get enrolled in that. We would love to give you that information. And if you already are a Pilates instructor and are looking to expand your business, open up your business in your city, Function Pilates is a groundbreaking franchise. We are registered in over 30 states. Again, I'd be happy to talk to you, get some more information, see if it's a good fit, and that link again is below in that description box. For those that are looking for similar workouts like this, recommended workouts, I will also link that below as well. So for those that are ready to get started, let's go ahead and begin.
Let's go ahead and start with our footwork, and today we're going to do a sideline series. So we're placing one medium and one heavy spring, or you can do two medium springs. Lying carefully on your side, go ahead and get comfortable as you adjust your headrest properly. Take your top leg, place the entire sole of your foot on that foot bar. Hips are stacked, stretch it out. Take another glance, make sure we are feeling aligned, we're looking aligned, and then we're going to begin with our 10 repetitions here. So as we draw those abdominals back and in, belly button to our spine, we're relaxing through our shoulders, softening through our jaw, and pressing this even weight distribution into our foot as we activate the back side of our leg here. So think of your glute muscle, think of that right butt cheek here, getting some contraction, and then also your quad doing some work. Coming in halfway for pulses, about 10 of those, really quiet, really intentional. And on that last one, you can stretch it out, returning back in. So coming to our toes only, heel is lifted, take an inhale and exhale, press up. So again, just finding all of your toes, if that is acceptable today, pressing into the foot bar, providing this nice plantar flexion through our ankle. So we are in this high heel position, challenging the mobility of our ankle and also strengthening it. Keep in mind that we want the ankle and knee to line up with the hip here. So if you feel like you're dragging that knee down or lifting it up too much, just take a moment there. Coming in for those pulses again, 10 of those. Drop those shoulders, breathe, draw those abs in, exhale out, and return back in. Externally rotated, so you're gonna go heel on, knee is looking up, toes are looking up. Exhale, you're gonna push out to a straight leg. Now be mindful in external rotation that it's really easy for our hip to want to just wander backward. So thinking about those hips staying stacked, and this might limit the range of motion that you can externally rotate from that femur bone into the hip socket, but that's okay because we still are going to benefit from the actual muscles contracting and getting the work in. Coming in halfway, finding that happy medium where you're pulsing in intentionally for 10. Deep breath. And the last one, stretch it out, and let's return back home. Let's go into another variation here, a little trickier. So I'm going to have you on your toe, push out, drop it back to your heel, lift your toes up, come back, teeter-totter to your toes, and come back in. So pressing out, you're going to go and add this teeter-totter. And what I mean by that is you're in this high heel position with a straight leg, drop to your heel, lift your toes up, back to your toes with the heel lifted. So hopefully that makes sense. You may need to cue in on my foot position here, but there's this gentle rocking sensation that actually gets into the glute a tiny bit more. So you're going to feel that burning sensation as we rock to the heel, back to the toes, and gently coming back in again. Especially with 10 repetitions here, it can get a little tricky. So if today you can't get to those full 10, do what you can and work your way up. Nice and slow, shoulders are dropped away from those ears, and bring it in. Good. Stretch it out. Carefully come to your back. And if you need to stop here for a moment to get a figure 4 stretch, by all means do. Otherwise, we're going to get to the other side. Left foot is on that foot bar. Shoulders are stacked. Take an inhale to prepare and exhale, press out. So this is our foot position where we're pressing evenly through the entire foot. The whole sole of the foot is planted and connected into the foot bar here. Again, adjust your headrest accordingly. Since it's a different side, it might feel a little new or a little bit awkward. So headrest can be all the way up. Otherwise, headrest is down, pillow up with some sort of like actual pillow or a ball. Coming in halfway, adding those little pulses in, 10 of those. Exhale on your last one to push out to a straight leg and then return home. Toes are on, heel is lifted, inhale there, exhale, squeeze through the glute. Beautiful. Just taking inventory of your body. That bottom leg is just going for the ride here as we really focus on the work being created by our top leg. Ultimately, creating a stronger pelvis, stronger hips to support our spine, to actually promote shock absorption for the lower limbs when we're walking and running. Adding those pulses again, coming in halfway. Deep breaths. Beautiful. Exhale, push out. Return back home. We're going to go into that external rotation. So again, heel is on, toe and knee are looking up. Glance at your hips again. Make sure they're not rocking backward. If this feels easy, 9 out of 10 times it's because our bodies are not in the right alignment here. Good. Stretch out. Just letting your head kind of float down. Maybe just really seeing if you're tensing up through the neck and shoulders. Are you overly gripping the peg? If you are holding onto the peg there, come in halfway for those pulses. Deep breathing. Stretch it out on that last one and return home. And we're going into our teeter-totter. So toes are on, heel is lifted. Take an inhale. Exhale, push to straight leg. Drop it to your heel. Toes are up. Back to your toes. Heel is up. Bend the knee. Press out. Drop it to your heel. Toes come up. Heel comes up. Knee bends. You got it. Taking your time with this. Finding the rhythm that works well for you. And it's a step-by-step process. So we want to really take the initiative to go step-by-step so that we do feel every bit of muscle working here. We're getting those benefits from the quad into the glute. We're thinking about those abs being drawn in as we develop this core strength. Every single exercise in Pilates is working our core, even though it may not be that initial muscle focus. We are being actively thinking about drawing our abdominals in, providing that nice neutral pelvis and neutral spine. Go ahead and bring it in here, folks, and you can go ahead and sit yourself up. And let's adjust our springs here. We're going to go down to just one medium spring or one red. But before we do that, go ahead and take it into a stretch, one of those pigeon or figure 4 stretches here, a modified seated position. So one leg is bent, one leg is dragging across the floor as we stretch it out. Switch when you're ready. Press out with straight arms here, lean it on over, and just feel that piriformis getting a nice deep stretch. Beautiful. And then from here, let's go ahead and carefully lie on our back. We're going to go into an abdominal series. So this is called coordination. Grab a hold of your handles or your loops. Let's go ahead and have those wrists above our shoulders. Fingertips are reaching long. We're going to take one leg at a time to tabletop here. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you're going to lift your head and chest up, extend the legs, open and close the legs, bend the knees to tabletop, bring those arms back up again. Exhale to straight legs, straight arms, open, close, bend, and lower. Good. Now let's really fine tune and think about the movement here. So we're curling our bodies up, we're extending the legs, we're really resisting opening the legs, and we're resisting closing the legs. So what does that mean? I want you to feel like you are activating the outside of your hips here, those external rotators. And as you pull those legs together, think of magnets, like you're squeezing those inner thighs. And it really does make a difference so that the legs aren't floppy and that we are very coordinated with the exercise and sculpting through those muscles as we contract the muscles. Beautiful. Rest. Take a moment, reset. We're going to go into an oblique version. So finding your right strap, left hand goes in, right hand on top of it. The legs, we're going to go back to tabletop, but let's find frog position. So heels together, toes apart, knees are apart. And when we curl up, we're going to reach between the knees here and then lower back down. Exhale, curl, inhale to lower. So every time we're actually flexing up, think of the shoulders dropping away from those ears as we reach long. Reach across the room energetically out through our fingertips here. Exhale, scooping the belly as we draw that belly button away from our t-shirt. You got it. Exhale and relax. Finding that other handle or loop. Again, if you're working with the loop, you may want to add in some more springs here. It might be a little too light, but right hand in, left hand on top, tabletop those legs, find your frog, inhale to prepare, and exhale, we curl on up. Reach in between those knees. The knee should be as wide as your shoulder, so as we try not to get sloppy with it. We want the knees shoulder distance apart, heels are hugging together, which is probably the most challenging part of the exercise here. Again, be mindful of your neck, so your eyesight is at your fingertips, not at the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, curl, inhale to release. Exhale, curl, inhale to release. And rest it. Good job. Hang that up. And we're going to sit ourselves back up again, taking it into our hip work series. So if you're not already in your loops, go ahead and switch out those handles, placing our loops on. So we should have a little bit of heat in us now. We're going to add some springs, so just add a light spring. So a medium and a light spring should be on right now. And then you're going to place your feet into our loops, sending one leg at a time up to the sky. And just take a breath as we get that initial hamstring stretch here. Tailbone is grounded. Exhale, just lower and lift. And allow this tick-tock to be the foundation of our hip work here. So we're just tuning in. We're tuning in as low as our legs can get, that our abdominals are activated. Exhale, press. Pressing equally into the loops as we activate through those hamstrings. Good. Neck and shoulders, soften up. And about 10 repetitions here. We're going to go ahead and open those legs out nice and wide. Exhale, squeeze them back together. So remember coordination or ab series. Again, this is very intentional. So think of those heels as magnets. If you maybe had a magic circle in between your inner thighs, think of how that would feel as we create this heaviness through our legs here. That's really what it's about. Inner thighs also help to strengthen the hips here, so it's important that we get both sides of the legs working. And then bend it in, just for a nice simple frog. We've already been here. Heels together, toes apart. Beautiful. And challenge yourself maybe not to pull the knees in all the way. And why is that? Because if we draw the knees in, yes, it feels great, but we're getting more of a stretch. We're not actually working through those muscles like we could be if the knees just pause right over the hips. So play with that. See what that feels like to you. Legs go straight back up. We're going to open, take it nice into a circle. So for me, I want the ability to get in a lot more mobilization through my hips. So I want to go wider. But if you have this sense of feeling a little out of control, we're going to want to take that circle and make it smaller. Good. Allow your feet to press into those loops equally. Beautiful. Allow the legs to open up equal distance. And I know that might be silly, but a lot of times we have one leg that's more dominant than the other. So just noting that, paying attention, like, wow, I do see my right leg going out wider than my left. Reel it back in. How do you pause and make that equal? If you haven't already, just switch up, reverse your circles. Beautiful. Relax those arms, palms are flat or they're resting on top of your belly here. But just allow those shoulders to drop away from those ears. The neck is just relaxing softly into the headrest. Good. Anywhere from about, 6 to 10 of those. And then from here, we're going to take the headrest down for some spinal articulation. So we're going into long spine. Headrest is flat. We're going to go ahead and exhale, push out to straight legs. Bringing the legs, the ankles over the hips, you're going to just peel your body up off the carriage. Legs are going straight up like an elevator. Open the legs gently, lowering the spine down as we articulate, dropping the spine down like a string of pearls. Sweep those legs around for a half circle, and we go back at it again. So you're pressing into the loops as you go straight up. Open the legs slightly, lowering the spine down, getting long, and then circle it around. Good. Ankles over those hips. We're going to take an exhale. We're going to reach on up, press those arms down, activate the triceps, open gently through those legs, lower it back down, and circle. So this is definitely a tricky one to work up to if you're having some challenges today. And then we're reversing it. So this time, as you lift up, the legs have already separated. When you get to the top, they close. You're lowering down, legs come back together. So separate the legs here. Let's peel our bodies up, close the legs, lower the spine down. Once that tailbone drops, legs go straight down, and then they circle around here. Beautiful. So we just reversed the variation that we did previously. Open, close, and lower that tailbone, getting nice and heavy. Lower both legs down, circle and sweep around. Good. Final hamstring stretch there as you give yourself a little pull, anything that makes sense for you. And just carefully taking yourself out of those loops. And we're going to go ahead and take it down to just one medium spring here for a nice eaves lunge. So in our stretch flow, we're going to go ahead and have that left knee bending a lot as you are supported with the right foot, getting into your deep lunge here. So you should be tucking your tailbone under, sending your hips towards the wall as you open up through the right hip flexor here. And then you can transition into a hamstring stretch. So your left leg will straighten. The most important part here is to keep those hips squared facing forward. So think of left hip back, right hip forward. Beautiful. Just taking as long as you may need. Maybe you're more active with this. Maybe you're not holding as long, but doing one more round here. So about 2 of each, 2 of our hip flexor stretch and 2 repetitions of our hamstring stretch, and press out. I like to keep my foot flat against the floor, mainly because I can feel the hamstring stretch more that way, but there is an option to lift the toes off the floor if that feels better for you. Walk it onto the other side. Left foot is supported by that shoulder block. Deep into our lunge here. So again, it's so important to keep that right knee directly over the right ankle. Because if you feel like you're shearing that knee forward, it's not going to feel like so much of a stretch like it can be if it's in better alignment. Good. Tailbone tucked under. Really press those hips forward like headlights. Shoulders relax. Straighten out that right leg. Let's send it back. This time, think of the right hip going back, the left hip going forward. Perfect. Just checking in. Again, this could be a little bit more active if you don't want to hold the stretch. Take it into your second round of stretching here. Right into your hamstring stretch. Again, foot can be flat, or if you'd like to lift your toes up, you can play with that as well. Perfect. Let's bring it back in again. Okay, so we're getting into some full body work. So with that being said, I'm keeping the same springs. This may be a little challenging, so if you need to add another spring, a light spring, feel free to do that. But from here, we're just going to take it into a nice simple elephant. So your heels are flat against the shoulder blocks, staying supported. Our upper body does nothing, it stays as is, but we're working through the lower portion. Let's transition all the way up to our high heels. Beautiful. This is upstretch 1, still full body work. Same exercise, different variation with the feet, therefore it may challenge you more. Now let's challenge you even again. Lifting that left leg, reaching back. Now you don't have to go into arabesque, that's what this is. You can continue to go with elephant or upstretch 1, but you're pulling and dragging in with your abdominal muscles, which can be very challenging. Beautiful. Reach out long through that leg that's floating in the air and scoop that belly to drag that carriage back in again. Nice. Shoulders down. Carefully bring it home. Let's reset. Shake it out. Again, back to the shoulder blocks being supported. We're going to sweep our right leg off to the side and out behind us. Good. Let's take an inhale back, exhale, pull forward. So it's almost this sense of piking where you're wanting to feel like your tailbone is reaching higher towards the ceiling. And it's your abdominal muscles, not your arms, that are pulling you in. So again, another variation that you may want to work towards. Again, you can always be doing elephant, the first one, or upstretch 1, that second variation. Beautiful. Bring it in nice and slow and carefully bring it back down. Good. Let's go ahead and take a seat with our legs out in front of us. At this point, we are feeling a little bit warmer, so we're going to get into some arm work here. So grab a hold of your loops. We're going to go into rowing front 1. So let's go ahead and have our palms looking, reaching. Let's reach up high to the sky, circle it around. So palms are looking down. We're going to articulate. Reach the arms here. Feel that energy as you sit up nice and tall. Circle the arms around, chicken wing it back into your ribs. Lower it. Stretch the arms. We reach high as we restack the spine. Circle the arms back to those bent elbows. Exhale. Reach the arms. We float our body up. We circle the arms around. We bend at the elbows. Exhale, extend, feel the back extensors, feel your abs as you get taller, circle those arms, deep breathing here. Perfect, sitting tall to frame the ears, sweep it around, bend those elbows. Exhale, reach, excellent. So from this position, our next variation is we are going to go ahead and go into this overhead press. So elbows are in cactus, you're bending and straightening. So in a healthy shoulder, this is okay. If someone had shoulder issues, definitely avoid this. Going maybe at shoulder level instead. But it's like you're putting luggage into the overhead bin here. You're hinged slightly forward. Maybe bend those knees if you're feeling a lot of hamstrings or hip flexors. Exhale, press up. Think of the shoulders dropping down those back pockets and then rest it. Good. Nice and tall, abs are drawn in. Reach, open out, close, bend those elbows in. So deliver the tray. Open the arms out. Pull the arms back together, bend the elbows back in. Reach, open, close, we bend back in. Reach out in front of you, open out to the sides, pull back in front of you, elbows bend. Beautiful. We're going to feel the shoulders here working. You're feeling those back extensors and those postural muscles. Hang it back up there, guys. And we're going to go ahead and take it to the back. So we're looking at the risers. We're taking our feet through the headrest. You can cross at the ankles if that feels okay to you. And we're going into rowing back one. Palms are looking at each other as you hold on to the loops, circle and see, curve it down, open those arms out to a T as you flip the palms, nose over knee, sweep those arms behind you, circle them back around as we restack. Exhale, pull the elbows in. Good. Sweep and C curve it down, open the arms out to a T, press those palms back together behind your back. Circle them around to restack. Good. Hold on to those loops into a fist, pull into your chest, elbows are wide. Articulate through the spine. Challenge your abs as you open out the arms. Dive it down. Beautiful. Circle those arms around. Again, this is a challenging one where it may take you a few times just to understand the steps. But once you get there, challenge yourself to do 5 more good ones here. Because most of the time it's not going to be as sophisticated as we'd like it to be. Once you're done with that, let's take the elbows through those loops. Good. And we're going to open into butterfly. So the palms are looking at you. Your elbows are just slightly below the shoulder. And the work here is being facilitated by the back of the shoulder. So exhale to open. We're not squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're keeping that nice and flat. And you may not even have the ability to go behind your shoulders because we want to keep that and maintain peripheral vision with our arms. Exhale, open. Good. Exhaling and inhale. Take it into a prayer position. You're going to reach those fingertips up, elbows come down. So we're just burning the shoulder sensation here. So as you press those palms together, think about the shoulders staying down, and maybe your range of motion is a little bit smaller in order to avoid the shoulders reaching up towards the ears. Good. It's going straight up like an elevator, dropping straight down. And rest it. Excellent work there, guys. You can hang those loops up. And we're going to go ahead and take it into a little bit of additional leg work here. So we're adjusting our foot bars to come down so that it's flat. We're going to stay on the same springs, and carefully you're going to come up onto the ledge, and then left foot is going onto the carriage. So we're going into skater. So bend deeply into the knees, hands behind your back, or they can be in front of you. Straighten out that left leg, stabilizing through the right side of your body here. So right hip, right knee is over the right ankle, and you're pressing out with your left leg. Good. Exhale, extend, inhale to bend. Straighten, bend. Straighten and bend. Beautiful. Stand it back up and pulse. Keeping that carriage quiet. It's like you're hugging it into the stopper, feeling that inner thigh activation. Beautiful. Stretch and stand up. Let's transition the left foot into the center of the carriage. Take those arms out to a T. Inhale to here. And we're going to go ahead and press out. Squeeze those inner thighs to pull back in. Exhaling and inhaling. Good. So again, think of holding on to these heavy buckets. Your arms are really being sculpted. There's energy coming out through the fingertips here. Your torso is nice and tall, not leaning over. You're looking straight ahead, and you're focusing on the inner thighs. We strengthen through the pelvic floor and into those inner thighs. Beautiful job. Think of balancing a book at the top of your head here. Beautiful. Squeeze in gently and lower back down. So we're going to slowly set back, one foot at a time. Now it's important to always step first onto the sturdy side, the part that's not moving. So you always want to get onto your reformer on the ledge, not the actual carriage first. for safety purposes. Go into that deep skater squat. Hands are behind your low back, or they can be in front of you. Straighten out that right leg and bend the knee. So you're not swiveling, you're not shifting over to the right, you're staying put. It's just the right leg being very independent from the rest of the body here. Perfect. So about 10 repetitions here. Deep breathing. And squeeze and pulse. Good. Stay low. Maybe put the weight back into your heels. Beautiful job. Exhaling and straighten it up. Transition into our side splits. So the right foot goes into the center of the carriage. If you want to do more and you have the flexibility, feel free to reach that right leg out closer towards the shoulder blocks. And then the arms are again very energized. They're reaching opposite directions of the room. You're balancing that book on top of your head. Deep breath. Perfect. Just floating gently here. Think of equal weight distribution through your feet. Think of your inner thighs equally pulling in together as a team. One is not overly dominating the other one. Good. Reach and pull in. Arms go down. Carefully step behind you, 1 foot at a time. Good. So from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply all of our springs on for our side overs. So once you've done that, go ahead and grab a hold of your box and apply it to a short box position so it's horizontal. Have that safety strap available to you. Let's place that right foot through the safety strap, and you're going to go ahead and have your left leg bent. So flex your right foot. Take your hands behind your head in front of your chest, or you can modify as I'm doing like so. You can bend, have your hand on the headrest, bend your elbow, and exhale, reach up. Going into what variation feels right for you, you can take your hand off the headrest, get a little bit deeper of a challenge, and then taking those hands behind the head if that feels good as we transition from one repetition to the next. It's important to know that your lower body isn't moving in side overs, it's just the upper body. Take that stretch. So we rotate, walk it out, and carefully returning back in, up again. Other side, left foot goes in, it's supported by that strap. Right leg is bent, resting on top of the box. Finding the variation with the arms that works best for you. Exhale, reach on up. Again, that lower body is nice and quiet. So if you feel like the strap is moving, you can feel your leg, your body moving, you know we're not stabilizing the right way. So maybe limit the range of motion if that feels too difficult for you. Look straight ahead as you push the back of your head into your hands. Beautiful. Take a stretch as we rotate. And then carefully, we're sitting ourselves right back up. Coming on out of that. And then we're going to go ahead and basically keep the box where it's at and unhook the safety bar. So if you have the piece of equipment that I have, you want to make sure that it's not locked, that it actually can be movable, and you'll see why in a moment. But as awkward as it might be, go ahead and kneel on top of the foot bar here. And you're going to go ahead and place your feet underneath the foot bar. You're going to rest your pelvis on top. And you're just going to go ahead and keep your ankles against the foot bar, really pulling out. Palms are in next to our hips, eyesight is down. You're going to dive yourself, lift up into extension. So dive down straight and lift up into extension. So this is called Dolphin. exactly the way you want to think of a dolphin, just kind of diving down and then lifting back up again. So your legs are separated, pressing into the foot bar, your palms are pressing into your hips. We're going to open into that next variation. We're in a T, and we're adding lateral flexion. So you're just going into that side stretch, reaching. It's the torso that's doing the reaching, not the arms, not the turn of the head, the torso. And then coming down into that stretch. Perfect. Lot of back work here, lot of back extensors, back of the legs. So everything should have been feeling and being worked. Let's go ahead and finish it with our roll downs, guys. So standing up nice and tall, let's stretch those arms up. Let's reach and dive down. Take a moment to check in with your body, how it's feeling. Restack up carefully. I hope you guys enjoyed this workout. If you did, please hit a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, hope you subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.